AD carry bans, especially if they think one team can get a large advantage with it. Kalista and Xayah are both first pickable. Tristana, it looks like something WildTurtle doesn't want to be forced into first picking, and what do you know? You already have 3 marksman bans.
And even Nar, if you count the mini form, Gragas at the table, a CLG special. Pretty much Ziggs makes every jungler learn Gragas. It becomes their most played, and CLG not going to get that. And no Cho'Gath now for Balls or possibly Moon. So it's almost always the top laner here. So now the famous Balls Rumble is available to Jarvan. An oft first pick is going to be allowed and grabbed here by FlyQuest.
Yeah, and this is indicative of their style yesterday. They had a very high priority on Jarvan, and they would always try and combo it with Galio in the mid lane. So I think unless CLG takes it here, FlyQuest has already said what they want to go for. They're probably wanting something like Galio, Rakan. Those are 2 things that aren't banned, and they work with their initiation. CLG opts not to deny either of those picks, so I actually think that's what we're going to see from FlyQuest here with their 2nd and 3rd choices.
And we'll see if the Galio comes in. Certainly there are counter picks to Galio available. Good call, Jatt. Cassiopeia being one of the prime ones there. Exactly the champ select that you expected. Galio, Rakan, Jarvan to engage, and actually Fiora, and of course, this could be mid Fiora for Huhi. We've seen it as the counter pick before.
Phreak, I'm 2 for 2 on predictions. This is a mid lane Fiora.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say. Only because Huhi is the only guy to have done it. It worked to much success. It is not that common of a top lane pick anymore, and it works very well into the Galio. So I think CLG, knowing that FlyQuest was going to be who they are, I mean, going back to 2013 when Lemonnation was doing pick and bans, they have a plan going into the game, and they don't actually counterpick that often. So they have a tier list of picks, they've gone with that tier list, and CLG has a plan for it.
So it's FlyQuest playing their style, CLG doing their homework over last night and seeing what they go into this one. Kog'Maw going to be off the table as well. Of course, neither team has their bot lane marksman yet. CLG do get first dibs, so you've got to be sometimes a bit careful at how much you want to drop off the pool. And certainly with FlyQuest running basically triple tank or even quadra tank at this point, waiting to see what Moon Moon actually plays for himself. WildTurtle needs to do some damage at some point in this composition. Kog'Maw would have been one of those champions that fit the mold. Now to see what finally comes in. Maokai removed as a jungle option, get one of the other tanks off the table.
Yeah, well now at this point they're targeting Balls' champion pool because they're almost certain that the Galio is going mid lane.
Right.
FlyQuest could switch it up though, and throw Galio in as a top lane tank, but then CLG will always have the last pick ability to react to that. Most likely you're seeing an AD carry pick here from CLG with all those AD carry bans. We've talked about this before, Phreak. There are actually a lot of AD carries that are still good, even if there are so many that get seen by the ban phase. You still have your Varuses, your Ashes, or even Twitch, depending on how aggressive you want to go.
Yeah, Twitch is a great hyper carry as well on the back line. Doesn't get picked a lot in pro play, bit of a weaker landing phase, but can come through. Lucian going to be grabbed up, and again, that's still a flex, so that Fiora can still go top. But Lucian can go mid or to the bot lane. We'll see what comes through in this one. As CLG have a 3-role flex going on, still to the last pick.
Yeah, this is really interesting by CLG because Huhi has had a lot of success on the Lucian, and it almost feels like they're just going to follow the Galio with the Fiora in whatever lane they want to. And the Lucian absolutely can go bottom lane. What often happens when people blind pick Lucian and there are still counter picks up, they will just flex it to the bottom lane if there's a mid lane counter pick that gets given. And specifically against Galio, Jarvan, Rakan, the mobility of Lucian with all the other mobile AD carries banned out like Xayah, Kalista, and Trist is actually really valuable. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that Lucian goes bottom. I
really like that choice. I actually really like the Kennen pickup as well. It adds more of that follow-up engage, but also actually adds some damage profile. One of the weaknesses of a comp like FlyQuest is showing is you lack the damage up, and even with a Twitch carrying in the bot lane, sometimes you run out of gas. And so an AP Kennen, I'm assuming for Balls in the top lane, would like to work pretty well for him. Have not seen him play a lot of this champion, but I do like what it works in the comp.
Yeah, and we've been talking about the fact that FlyQuest hasn't really had to show that much in over a month. Just the 3 wins they had against Team Dignitas yesterday.
I like this too. I don't know if you're going to lock it in, but I think it actually fits.
Yeah, I mean, it would fit very well as long as they have an answer for the Twitch, which would be a big issue of them not having that much backline damage. Darshan has excelled on the Dr. Mundo before, and this is also banking on the fact that it's an AP Kennen, because if it's an AD Kennen, you're losing a lot of the advantages of the Dr. Mundo. A few patches back, Dr. Mundo gets more effective magic resist essentially by putting points in his E, so he becomes this super magic resist tank. What FlyQuest can do is throw Kennen mid lane if they really want to. Huhi used to play mid lane Kennen, so this draft is all kinds of flex right now. you're not allowed to trade past 20 seconds on the phase right here. So that could have been a bit of a bait, and they would have been able to kind of fake out if we're thinking the Fiora is following the Galio.
Absolutely. 21 seconds, 20 seconds in, and yep, the matchups are as we kind of expected. Kennen in the top lane, going to be facing against Dr. Mundo, Huhi gets his Fiora into Galio as well. And the Sejuani jungle versus the Jarvan that Mundo's going to play for himself. This is going to be a fun one. A lot of new stuff coming out here. I know we've seen AP Kennen around the world before, but it's pretty scarce in North America. And I'm excited for both these team comps. I think they're both really exciting, really interesting. A lot of heavy melee engaged on both sides, but playmaking to be had.
Yeah, I love watching these two teams draft against each other because they both have such distinct styles. FlyQuest is willing to go with anything that they feel like works for them. They're drafting very engage heavy, and that's what worked against Team Dignitas. Whereas CLG is never scared to go off meta, especially with Huhi. He plays all the meta mids +3, right?
Yeah.
Fiora, Aurelion Sol, Vel'Koz. Not only that, they're moving Lucian down to the bottom lane with all of the AD carry bans we saw. So it will give us a very unique feel to this very important game.
Well, this is going to be a fun one. I'm glad I'm casting today because we've got an exciting one on the books for you all. Best of 5, FlyQuest versus Counter Logic Gaming. Winner plays Cloud9 tomorrow for the last North American spot at Worlds to see which of these 3 remaining teams will join TSM and Immortals at the World Championship. Of course, the winner of the regional qualifier goes into the play-in stage. Those groups will be drawn Tuesday morning, so stay tuned for that. But also, it's going to be the new look North America starting out at the very beginning of the tournament, and they'll be drawn into their own group. And lots more to talk about with that. For now, it's, of course, the game in front of us.
Yeah, and just the history that the players in this game already have in regards to Worlds. You know how much this match means to them. Huhi, as he talked about just before this game, has been to Worlds multiple times, never made it past the top 8 stage, and he's retired before, he's come back before, but he always has that competitive drive. And even Lemonnation was speaking yesterday about how when they finished the regular season, they thought they had no chance at Worlds, but the practice has gone well. They crushed Dignitas yesterday. Now they believe they can make it. So it's not just this game, but your Worlds journey can end based on this match. So really exciting to watch this one play out.
It's going to be a fun one. We'll see where the jungle starts come in. That's the first order of business. No insane level 1s. No first bloods. CLG not getting that to their credit, though they had gotten that in the 3rd place match. Looks like Lemonnation and WildTurtle are going to start the super leash on the red buff as Moon takes down some of the small raptors. It's level 2 and is now going to do a nice happy buff to kill. OmarGod basically going to be a full camp behind. Lands the smite. Darshan did not steal it away with the cleaver. Yeah, it was a well-timed smite, of course.
Actually, one of the best top lane champions you can have to help pull red buff if he starts cleaver, because cleaver does percentage of max health, and red buff has like 2,000 health at level 1, so really helps him with that. Helps neutralize the super leash a little bit, even though Moon will still have a speed edge when compared to OmarGod.
And of course, as punishment for the super leash, CLG able to deny quite a bit of farm right now. It's going to be perfect CS for Stixxay, and WildTurtle on his first right now. We'll see if he loses any more of this, getting pushed around, and level 2 almost certain to come in first. And look at that, Turtle forced to trade with Stixxay, losing 1 CS, losing that melee minion because of that fight. So CLG playing the dual lane quite well with their early lane pressure. And hey, if you can make up the gold of a super leash in the actual farm you're denying your opponents, then kind of par for the course here. Right now, both teams equal on gold. Again, perfect CS for Stixxay. Props to him. WildTurtle. Yeah, got 1 of 6 melee minions from lane pressure.
Definitely been a rough little early laning phase. The trading power of Lucian when they have the level 2 threat on you is just too great. OmarGod looking to gank mid lane. It's all about getting in front of the Galio.
All right, here we go. 1 Vital's available, lands that one. Nicely done, gets in the way of the knockup, lands the stun, gets the autos, and that's going to be first blood right into the mid lane. Huhi even burned the flash. But really perfection of Huhi and OmarGod there. Yeah,
and it goes even beyond just getting the first blood onto the mid lane. The fact that Moon received the super leash and then didn't have an impactful play early sets FlyQuest into an even larger hole, because this means OmarGod was fine, the mid lane is in a hole, and their bottom lane is in a deficit thanks to the super leash. So Moon really needs to get something done here. Did counter jungle the Krugs, and Omar didn't find it, but we're going to watch this gank one more time. It's all about getting in front of the Galio for his Justice Punch.
Yep.
OmarGod isn't even really trying to hit Huhi because he knows Huhi's going to be jumping there, saves his permafrost stun, gets the detonate, and then critically the first blood goes over to Huhi as well. That's exactly the way Fiora wants to start that lane.
And I really love the mechanics he had there. Of course, you can start. Ooh, looking like the flash. Not got the flash to follow. Darshan should be taking the damage. And you talk about needing a gate to come up. He gets it there. 2 flash for the kill, but finally a trade for FlyQuest.
Yeah, so critical that that was successful right there, especially since he hadn't gotten anything from earlier. You can see exactly the Fiora interaction right there. You can riposte the Galio E every single time and basically immune it. But very nice mechanics there by Moon, flashing for the EQ connection, and then also having the stun lined up so balls could chain it to secure that kill.
Yeah, there's even more fun stuff. You can start the riposte channel while moving through with lunge, so that you're never locked out in any way while playing Fiora, and so you can dash into the way he's going to, you know, throw that E dash and all kinds of cool stuff there. Anyway, good job to Huhi. The game's still, of course, very close to that top lane kill, and AP Kennen being most of the meaningful magic damage in the squad. Good to have him have some money. First TV comes back in now for Huhi as well, and a nice knock up there out of high. Team that already done, though, versus a couple of rings. Certainly better items out of Huhi. One of that next trade, a nice taunt, and actually pretty good damage as well. Huhi chunked out quite a bit.
Yeah, Huhi took a pretty bad trade right as he teleported back in. And doesn't have that much sustain, only had 1 health potion after completing that Tiamat, so a little dangerous for him to actually play super aggressive on high, especially if he's using his riposte for the Justice Punch, because that will leave him vulnerable to the taunt if the Jarvan does come in. So yeah, I think it's actually almost necessary for him to take that recall right after getting back into lane with teleport.
Well, spoiler alert, he's actually not getting any more potions as well. He gets a long sword, and if he waits for ambient gold, he gets 1 potion. I'm watching in the future. I was a bit...
Good prediction for you.
Yeah, this is really good prediction. Yeah. Early game, the client's on a 5-second delay, so I get to cheat. Can call things out. Moon, I like that right there. Puts down and looks to see if OmarGod's coming in. He's not, so he's fine. And he's looking at the attack speed from the E. He's still in range, so he barely loses damage by doing this. Bomb Cinder done for that Jarvan. Pretty standard stuff right here. Early Sightstone, though, available for OmarGod.
Yep. A little bit of a difference, as you mentioned there. Tracker's Knife for Omar. Did recall with a little bit less gold, because he recalled earlier, but able to place a few deep wards inside the jungle of FlyQuest. That allows Stixxay and Aphromoo to at least think about playing more aggressive if they get the good trade. Don't have the level advantage down in that bottom lane, though.
Nope, not right now.
Bounced back a lot, actually.
Yeah, credit to Turtle for that one. Some of those he's pushed the lane in, but certainly he's bounced back really, really well for himself. Are seeing the standard Ruin King start for the Lucian. You expect to see the control ward means I was spotted a minute and a half ago. Gets rid of that one, though. Gets some gold back in his pockets. Lemonnation wants some deep wards. And looks to see if there's any wards in the jungle, in the river. And that one's going to die anyway. But there's an extra trinket where they get to kill, and Moon gets to start blinding Huhi in the mid lane now. He's actually got no vision that's going to track any further Jarvan ganks.
Yeah, it's good timing for that ward control as well, because this is exactly the point where Huhi's going to want to get aggressive in the mid lane. And when they do not have any forward vision onto the Jarvan, it becomes much more dangerous.
Trades right there, and Lemonnation getting to provide the heal to WildTurtle means the FlyQuest duo is starting to look really good now in this one. Even an aggressive control ward, just in case the Jarvan wants to come down, it always signals threat to a duo lane when they suddenly control ward a trinket. It's like, all right, they really want this rush control, you got to watch out.
Yeah.
CLG has to give some respect.
I like this game plan by the FlyQuest bottom lane, attacking CLG's bottom side. We got to see some jungle proximity stats before the day, where in the semifinals, CLG had Omar bottom lane a lot to pretty disastrous results, and in the 3rd place match, OmarGod very rarely visited that. And it's because their bottom lane has been generally weak, and when you're going to try and help that lane, you're putting yourself at risk. So CLG hasn't actually been good playing around the bottom lane. So if FlyQuest forcefully play around that bottom side, they're hoping to draw OmarGod to that weak side of the map and capitalize with Galio ultimates and Kennen teleports. So overall, they're kind of attacking CLG where they have been weak lately.
See a quick trinket put down, seeing if Jarvan was hiding in the brush, even with the control ward there. Your own ward, we'll see for a second. They saw Moon was not around, and 10 gold donated right back over. Huhi gets to kill a ward away, and back to the lane he goes. Still a very close one, 12.4k to both these squads. The Huhi counter pick is not denying farm anymore, but of course still scaling up, and I gotta say a free lane for Fiora probably always feels great.
Yeah.
I liked to go for an early Thornmail on his build. We'll see when that comes online. So far he doesn't have it yet, though.
Most likely. And to talk about the CLG composition a little bit more as far as how CLG is going to pilot it in the mid and late game, since it's a really uncommon composition, it's not actually that much about team fighting. It's all about split pushing in the 1-3-1. The idea is that Dr. Mundo will be able to get enough magic resist that balls can't touch him with the AP Kennen, and then the Fiora will also be able to outduel the Kennen or the Galio in the side lane. So it's very much about trying to get 1 or 2 winning 1v1s and then just create plays off of the chaos that creates on the map. It's a classic CLG strategy. You don't see as much of it lately with how good teams are at hard engaging on the 3-man squads. So it'll be really important for CLG to not get picked off, and Aphromoo Thresh needs to play very defensively while split pushing is happening to save people with lanterns.
Lengthen out the Lucian or the Sejuani or whatever else going in with it, and we'll see what comes through. Mid lane pushed in. I want to talk about Mundo a bit as well, who's, for pretty obvious reasons, rushing a Spirit Visage. There's not a lot of easily accessed healing reduction on FlyQuest. No Ignites at all in the comp because they're running Cleanse Heal bot lane. No one on that squad wants to buy Lemonnation, so it has to be WildTurtle buying Executioner's Calling. As long as Darshan doesn't auto-attack high, he's not going to take the Bramble Vest debuff. So again, it has to be an Executioner's out of WildTurtle as the only reasonable way to apply Grievous Wounds to this Mundo. Should be pretty good for him. Huhi not going to be able to block away the taunt. Gets knocked over. Here comes Lemonnation. Here comes the quickness. Sejuani's around, gets the knockup, though, running the flash. And look at the damage up on Huhi. Look at the comeback into this one. The flash engage comes through, and look at that knockup. And a flash away from Huhi now into this one as OmarGod still running for the wings and blocks the way to stay alive a little bit longer. But here comes Slicing Maelstrom, a follow-up knockup, and the kill comes through to High. 2-1 so far. FlyQuest get another kill off of Balls and Moon. Yeah, if at first you don't succeed, try again. FlyQuest kept throwing initiation at that mid lane, and CLG couldn't get out in time. OmarGod was there for a counter gank, but he wasn't there for the second counter gank or the third gank that was coming in because FlyQuest sent everyone into that mid lane. He gets the first turret and get first turret. Wow, that is incredible. Nice play out of FlyQuest. They only leave WildTurtle in the bot lane to wave clear. Pops his ult for that one. Lemonnation just walks away and says, it's fine, guys, don't worry about it. But that's really, really incredible stuff. 1,400 gold lead now to FlyQuest, and it really does look like that month off got them a lot better. Lemonnation spotted by a control ward as this fight is happening, and Omar was really just hoping for the counter gank right here. But when Jarvan shows himself, they have to bail. Omar has used his dash, smartly saves his flash for the Cataclysm, but then another guy comes in. There's only so much they can do to escape that. And CLG doesn't have the appropriate lane pressure elsewhere because top lane was pushed in by the Kennen to actually make any positive plays out of CLG committing so much to that mid lane. Yeah, I mean, even though the Mundo was the counter pick to Kennen, it's not going to win the laning phase outright. You're still going to get pushed in. It's in picking it for the late game scenario. As you mentioned, the 1-3-1 for CLG later on. Right now, he is touchable. This Mundo, and the laning phase certainly can be. Ball's rushing a lot of flat magic pen, so again, not itemizing for his lane opponent, but for the team fights, for the AoE against the Fiora, against the Lucian, the Thresh. See if Balls can push through on that later on as FlyQuest sit in the 1,600 gold lead and might push for an earlier Cloud Drake at some point. Yeah, you can see CLG had been laying in wait, but Lemonnation very quick to dash away after getting that ward down. Trying to keep that side of the jungle as clean as possible from wards because they want Lemonnation to be able to roam through that spot to help the rest of the map. If CLG can ever actually get control of FlyQuest red side jungle, they really disable a lot of Lemmonnation's playmaking. So I think FlyQuest has done a very good job so far, mostly keeping their jungle clean. It's been good stuff from them. We'll see if the next roams comes through. Lemonnation, of course, is flashless, but the quickness is up right now. So if you want to go for the next RW play, you can certainly do it. Otherwise, we're going to wait around for this one. CLG, again, not a lot of lanes with pressure. TP to the mid lane. High going to rejoin that one, which gives some time for Huhi to roam up to the top lane right now. Again, no teleport means High cannot join without using his ultimate to get off to the side. Huhi actually pulls back, realizing that Kennen has backed off. The call was made that Huhi was roaming. And now High once again gets to push mid lane in first. Again, that ulti is still available for the Galio. If he needs to roam around, he can. Look at the bot lane right now with Moon coming around. This could be a 4v2. TP not yet up for Darshan. You can see Aphromoo already running, and he's got the Lantern if they need it. Stixxay sees him killing the ward. This is what they want to do with Galio. Every time Galio goes missing, CLG has to be prepared for the 4-man dive. So far, Huhi does have that CS advantage over High, but that's about it. Hasn't been able to save his turret. Hasn't been able to stop the Galio from at least getting a few ultimates off. Here comes the attempted play as WildTurtle's going to scout out what could be around. And he sees it's only the recalls, and it's going to be wave clear instead. But if Moon wanted to stay, they could probably rush down for first turret on this one, or second turret, I should say. And we'll see if that comes through as the recall is complete. And yes, all three are going to stick around. And they're going to rush down this turret as fast as they can with the red buff and the Jarvan flag. This should be a turret kill. So 2-0 turrets for FlyQuest. Except for this TP
gotta make a play. They have TP, Balls does not. So this is a big play they're trying to make.
OmarGod lands a big stun. Here comes the battle. This one took us by some time, and nice knock up as well. And here comes Huhi on the wings. 3 versus 4. No, make it 5. All of Counterlogic Gaming wants this fight. Balls can't join in high. Not yet in range. The stun's gonna land to get Lemonnation. Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. Doing his best impression of Mad Life. Aphromoo hooks in the rat and takes him down, cheese and all. 2-0, the turret's gonna fall.
Gorgeous hook by Aphromoo there, predicting the sideways flash from WildTurtle. So many layers of prediction to be able to pick up that second kill. And for CLG, that play had to work. They were losing so much pressure, nearly losing their bottom lane, already lost their mid lane, in danger of losing their top lane. Their map pressure was at an all-time low, and they sent all 5 people bottom lane. So the fact that they converted on 2, got the turret and got the Drake, keeps them in the game.
That is a huge swing right there. It ties up the gold, and they're up a Cloud Drake now as well, which is pretty nice to have, especially when you're considering it's a heavily split push focus composition. The 1-3-1, they're going to be spread out a lot of the time. This is a better than average Cloud Drake based on their composition. Only 2 would even benefit from Infernal, so it really does mean quite a bit they get this one. And we'll see as High sweeps away some minions, and we can watch that play one more time.
Yeah, turret going down, FlyQuest trying to make a play without their top laner having TP, and Galio not even in range to roam, so a little bit poor on the setup there for FlyQuest. They pull a full retreat right here. Lemonnation is the sacrifice. They use almost everything on him, but Aphromoo, predicting the sideways flash from WildTurtle with the death sentence, secures the double kill.
That's just insane on that one. We're going to see the next play.
They want more. They know he has no flash.
And he can't get away. The camouflage doesn't work that way. Nice little bit of damage. Culling coming across towards Moon, but Aphromoo running out of help. Lemonnation set the one up. The kill comes across with the CLG support. The squad goes around and now Balls has so much damage. He's going to take down Stixxay pretty much by himself. Here comes the rest of the squad. OmarGod flashing away for top lane. And yeah, High thankfully takes it for the squad. He's going to be fine. Top lane might fall as a result. Like it on FlyQuest.
TP advantage was in the favor of FlyQuest right there. Their top laner had it. Darshan did not. Yet CLG was trying to make a play on a flashless Twitch. It completely gets turned around. And much like yesterday, FlyQuest is crisp. This is not the type of team play we saw out of them during the summer split whatsoever. So definitely coming to play today.
Definitely agree on that one. We're going to see who he looked to roam down towards this, as you mentioned, now flashless Kennen, who TP'd back in and has no ulti. I mean, he is out of defensive tools right now, and he's got to suss out that he might be attacked here in this one. Huhi is on the same screen as him practically, but they're not going to pull the trigger, even though no one could have joined the 1v2. He spots him out, lands a Q, Leonard's Storm burns him down, and Darshan gets the recall away also.
Yeah, gonna watch this one more time. You like the idea of the play to go for a flashless player, but the minion wave is pushed up, they have no vision in the jungle, and they have a TP disadvantage. So when you think about what is beyond the flashless cleanseless Twitch, it actually becomes a pretty bad idea. FlyQuest is instant in their punish, and Balls is playing very well this game. Had that first kill in the top lane and has not relented his pressure. Still a CS lead and has now teleported in twice to help pick up kills.
And it's Balls looking like his very old self back when he first joined the LCS, playing lots of carry-focused top lanes. The Rumble was good yesterday. This AP Kennen looking great as well. He's got the highest CS on his team. He's got the most kills in the game as well. Doing good things. Hook's going to land, but it doesn't really mean much. His passive actually blocks all the damage anyway. Lemonnation is totally fine here. And Moon needing less sneakiness than yesterday to go for this scuttle, we have to imagine. The Rift Throw, I should say.
Pulls it back, actually onto a ward this time, even though he pulled it past where the Scuttle Crab was yesterday.
Yeah.
But this is not something that CLG has their mind set on defending, so now we get to see if FlyQuest can create any unique Rift Herald plays.
Nice goes for stun. OmarGod landing some really nice ultis across that one. Darshan barely taking damage. Oh, he's actually going to burn down. He flashed not in time to get away from turret aggro. A trade kill, nicely done for Balls.
Yeah, a lot of times you have a lot of confidence on Mundo pressing your ultimate to go for turret dives, but no armor really to tank the turret shots with. Does end up getting chain stun there. And now Moon is going to easily push Omar off the red buff.
Yeah, all right, so OmarGod's fond of that one. Nice attempt to steal, but good by Moon to come down in time. Still stacking as fast as he can. Looks like Moon also going for a Thornmail-like item as well. Looking like they're stacking it up on everyone they can. Still could be Randwins, though I doubt it. And we'll see as the item spikes start to come through. Stixxay still bidding towards the Black Cleaver. WildTurtle going towards the Hurricane, it looks like, and that's going to be nice since he's up against pretty much quadra melee.
Yeah. It's going to be really pivotal that CLG either kill WildTurtle's Twitch early in fights or just don't team fight. because they don't have great backline access to get to the Twitch.
I think they shouldn't team fight. No one's biting the bullet and going lock it early game. Like, I think OmarGod could considerably, or potentially, conceivably, thank you, conceivably go lock it second item because there's a fed AP Kennen who's even going proto belt. Like, Stixxay will just die every fight if he team fights with the Kennen. There's no defense for him right now. And I agree with you, Jatt. I don't think they can team fight very easily.
Yeah, and this is giving FlyQuest a lot of options with how to play the game because currently the split pushers of CLG are not at a point where they easily create pressure via those 1v1s. I mean, look at the way the lanes are set up right now for CLG. Darshan's pushed in bottom. Huhi's up against the Kennen where he actually doesn't straight up win yet. He's got a level advantage, and finally the minions for a brief moment are beyond the halfway point of the map.
Yeah. We'll see if it has to get punted back afterwards, though. They're hoping to get this one down a little bit farther. Right now, though, 2,500 gold puts FlyQuest ahead. Ball still looking pretty solid on this one. Gonna get some damage up from Huhi, though. Not gonna block the stun, though. Means he's locked down, but still, look at the chase. He flashes in for a bit more, and yeah, look at that one! Huhi gets the matchup he wanted and just shuts down the squishy. I mean,
that's Huhi for you right now.
Yeah.
Twitch is trying to stock him, though. He's on full retreat.
Here comes the damage output. Riposte gonna slow the attack speed of Turtle. No longer has the ability to duel. And here comes the team, but the damage coming in from the support. The knock up here from Galio blocks some time up against Darshan as well. Mundo by a few more seconds. WildTurtle still cutting away, but he's getting chased down, and finally Stixxay gets the kill, and now Lemonnation running out of health bars. Jumping to his teammates. That's gonna land on the Galio. He's tanky, but he's likely to go down on a 1v4. As the stun lands for the first one, gets a big top, flashes away, lands a cleaver on his backside though, and the flame pulls him right back out of it. High is gonna fall. Darshan getting the kill credit, and that fight went 3-1 in favor of CLG.
Yeah, and it feels like CLG's just scraping by in this game. They had to make that play bottom lane, they convert. Huhi has to make a huge play to kill the Kennen, and they convert this one. As the chase comes through, WildTurtle does pick up the kill, but they lose even more. Once this turret goes down, the game is gonna be nearly deadlocked.
Look at that turret falling. It's going to be solo gold from Stixxay. No, balls could stop this. No, Aphromoo got to join the fray. They need to reinvest OmarGod. And here comes the TP. They want to get him. And hey, TP for Flash, not necessarily a bad trade. It's going to hurt Balls' re-engage tools. Though he had proto belts up, I feel like you should have popped that instead of the Flash.
Potentially.
Maybe he didn't realize he had it. I know players can make that mistake when you have an active. Either way, Moon grabs the blue buff. Out we go, CLG. Second turret of the game. Gold within 1,000 now. High finds Darshan. The taunt actually forced him to apply Grievous Wounds to himself.
Yeah, there's still the matter of this Rift Herald. They only had a few more seconds to summon it, so Moon tries to throw that in the mid lane. This is a situation where FlyQuest does have double TP and CLG does not, but Twitch is in the bottom lane, so as clever as the Rift Herald usage was yesterday for FlyQuest, this one's going to land pretty flat. Yeah, it's going to do less than half damage. Oh, he missed the... didn't hit the weak point in time, but that turret will stay alive. He'll be okay on that one. Herald falls. They got some damage out of it, plus the global gold from killing it in the first place. And FlyQuest will now mirror the Cloud Drake that CLG got. They've got that mid lane pressure. The Herald certainly helped with that one. High's push as well did some work. Yeah, this is after Huhi had solo killed Balls' Kennen. WildTurtle flashes in camouflage to open, but the attack speed slow does land. Makes that fight delay for quite a bit, but the damage reduction comes through from Galio and the shield comes through from Rakan. Keeps WildTurtle alive for a very long time, but a cleaver sneaks through, hits Turtle. That slows him enough for Stixxay to finish off the fight, and that's when FlyQuest has to retreat. High does stay alive for a very long time, flashing out of the box to avoid the slow, but then does get caught as he tries to Justice Punch away by a nice Aphromoo flay. And the continuation of that play was the teleport coming in to get the turret. So very close game we have here, but FlyQuest still going to be looking to make plays while they have that TP advantage.
23-minute mark, as you mentioned, TP advantage for Balls. The other three are all down right now, and they've got the controller inside the Baron pit. They've also not have scuttle control. So Turtle is spotted doing this. They know it's happening.
Right. They know Huhi was bottom without teleport. So this is most likely trying to bait a fight because they can't kill Baron very quickly. So they would have to peel for the fight cleanly, and they're taking it slow. Now they just have to pull back.
Yeah, Huhi's in range basically at this point. He's actually going to be able to shove in the mid lane as well. And CLG can rush down mid-outer. No one's in range to defend this. High can try to wave clear, and in fact with the taunt, he's threatening. A couple hundred damage off that mid lane outer turret. CLG gets a little bit of headway as the Baron resets regardless, and Darshan was left to kill wards in the river, so he's actually going to deny that FlyQuest vision. Overall, that play ends up benefiting CLG slightly, I have to say, because they get ward control back. Red Buff going to try to go to Turtle. He gets it with the expunge. Contaminate, as it's now called.
Yeah.
Stixxay again a couple seconds onto that mid lane outer turret, getting it down to 1/3.
And as long as FlyQuest can keep the game grouped up, I think they're pretty happy. You can see the items coming through, really building towards that teamfight phase. Executioner's Calling is completed by WildTurtle, so he should be able to cut through a lot of the healing that CLG would try and do in teamfights, both for Mundo and Fiora. The Knight's Vow was actually built by Huhi rather than Moon, which unlocks Moon to go Randuin's Omen a little bit, and there's no reason Knight's Vow is not a good item for tank Galio as well.
Sure.
Especially with the low magic damage profile that CLG has put together. So FlyQuest definitely built to go for teamfights if they can ever get those initiations back.
Speaking of itemization, I'm a little surprised to see Moon actually do Randuin's Omen because there is 0 critical strike chance until this exact second on anyone from CLG. Not sure I love that, but I guess he wants the extra active slow to help pin down targets, and I can see that being the logic.
Yeah, a lot of people also really just love the health armor combination you get from it because you get so much health from Randuins, but I tend to agree it is more effective versus heavy crit users. That is one of the points of the item.
I just feel like I'd go Thornmail and just stack one with High, but it's his choices. He's going to go for that one. Either way, it's not the end of the world, as Stixxay would go to Rapid Fire Cannon and then probably an Infinity Edge next up. Here comes Huhi with a nice little trade onto Moon, getting some decent damage. Has a Lantern away, lands a stun, and then goes out with the Lantern. Proto wants in, has a red buff, has a Hurricane, has an ultimate. He's going to shoot Stixxay once in the back for 168 damage, then run away.
This game is so much about how effective Huhi can be. In split pushing, he's the one that can prevent FlyQuest from matching him with anyone. He'll win the 1v1 against Galio and has already shown he can win the 1v1 against Kennen. Secondarily, when a Fiora team fights, it is so hit or miss. Whether or not the Fiora can get a good riposte off or get CC'd and instantly killed. It's not a tanky champion by any means, especially at this point in the game.
Just 2 items. Ravenous Hydra, Black Cleaver. It's one of the squishiest champ. Heck, even Lucian almost has more health than her at this point, despite the 2-level deficit. We're going to see Lemonnation walk forward. Looks for the knockup, not going to find a hope to bait a flash, maybe. Looks not going to land from Aphromoo. A reset coming in through on this one. It looks like FlyQuest generally the team with better Baron control. CLG sees almost nothing inside that pit.
Yeah, no Mountain Drakes in this game, so that's probably good for CLG, as FlyQuest need to be able to force this. They have control wards, and Huhi did show bottom lane, but he has his teleport up. So this is a fact where COD doesn't want to fight.
Rakan wants him. They're going to find the double knock with Aphromoo as Galio dives in. They're going to get that first kill to 5v4. Kennen ulti already burned, though, for only that one. So ultiless might be a bit of a threat. Here comes the dive into the back lines. OmarGod chunked down. The Hustle Blast away. Stays alive, though. 5v4, Darshan pops the ulti, but he got hit by the Executioner's Calling, who's not healing a ton. The disengage comes through. FlyQuest to burn 4 of their 5 ultimates. CLG, actually all of them down. And again, Aphromoo is dead. So a better state right now for FlyQuest. They start Baron.
This is FlyQuest's path to victory. They still have Flash on Rakan, but they are down some critical ultimates. It is a 4v5, but a support being down is the least of COG's worries.
All right, they're going to see. Kind of hit this one down. Moon missing the knockup, actually. This is the key on his. He gets a ton. OmarGod, that's a dead jungler. Then Sejuani took us a shield, buys some more time. Finally does fall 1 for 0. They chase in a Huhi, though. Does he have the damage for WildTurtle? They're going to flash take him down with Stixxay, and Huhi gets away with it. The knockback Moon can't quite find that kill. He will get Darshan, but the trade comes in, and look at all these blue health bars staying alive. It's a 4-kill spree with only WildTurtle falling. It's a delay in ace as Aphro is respawned, and he is not going to stop a Baron.
Yeah, this is a fool's errand for Aphromoo trying to stop this against 4 people. Maybe he's hoping to steal
they can body
with
block
the death sentence. Hook in and flay. I mean, at this point, he should be going to push a minion wave back.
He should never get this steal. he should never get this steal, and it's going to be smited properly by Moon. Congratulations, you outsmited a support Thresh. Moon, be proud you did better than St. Bitches ever could have. He's out of the playoffs anyway.
Taking a step back, this is exactly the type of game FlyQuest want to be playing. Even if they're missing the EQ, they have such a 5v5 team composition with the Kennen and the Twitch, and it's very hard for COG to kill WildTurtle. Yeah, Huhi goes in, but they burn everything for it. And the rest of FlyQuest is just kind of chilling while slowly killing everyone on COG. So the fact that they so easily got Huhi's teleport out to get rid of the split push threat, and so easily created a 5v4, just mark very good things for FlyQuest's success. They want the 5v5, COG want the split push, and FlyQuest very easily got the 5v5 there and the Baron.
Well done by FlyQuest, now sitting on the 3,500 goal lead. The Baron buff on 4 of the members, it should be. Everyone except Turtle, who courageously died in the fight, but for the good of the squad. And now bot lane True 2 under siege as FlyQuest looking to push this lead even farther. Ardent Sensor and Redemption done for Lemonnation. He's in a great spot here into this. And a stealth on Turtle means he's ready for a fight if there is one. Keep that attack for the wave here at the very least. Gonna pop up OmarGod's bonus armor and look at the damage output that Sejuani takes. That's supposed to be a tank, and it's a half HP from 2 seconds of combat.
Omar's been getting poked down a lot pre-fight here. They don't even have the Galio with him to frontline right here, and the turret's almost dead.
That's gonna fall into this one, but to reset and make sure that FlyQuest feel good about this. Moon, only one injured now. The chase and Aphromoo, 3 more attacks will do him in, and there's the Contaminate to shut that one down. Darshan pushed out as well. WildTurtle continuing to do quite nicely for the squad, 4, 3, and 5, and now on the Nexus turrets.
They're just going for it. They're going to force CLG to fight the 5v4 once again. This is probably game.
Highs in the mix. First turret falls 30 minutes into this one. They're looking to knock down all the Nexus turrets. When is CLG going to get the team fight started? Knocked by OmarGod. Turrets will take some damage now. The Nexus laid bare into this one. A big Kennen comes across. Huhi joining the fight a little bit late. Looks to knock down WildTurtle. The slam comes in as the Lucian has fallen. Now a 3v4 to this fight. Another kill comes through for Huhi. Is trying, but the Nexus still going to fall.
Close.
Going to put the last few touches on. 2 more will do it. And Moon going to take down the Nexus as the last surviving member. FlyQuest up 1-0 on CLG.
Moon says not even close right at the end of it. And FlyQuest with the 1 man surviving at the end closed the game. But even if the Nexus barely fell with the last tick of Moon's health bar, FlyQuest was in control of that game.
Yes, they were.
Because from Champion Select, they said, you know what worked yesterday? Jarvan Galio.
Yeah.
Let's do that again. CLG had a plan for it. They said, we're going to Fiora into your Galio. We're going to split push you. You have 1 teamfight combo. We're not going to let you get off that teamfight combo. FlyQuest did. Right? FlyQuest got off that teamfight combo again and again. You could see clear as day at the very end when they had that 5v4 in the bottom lane, how much stronger they were in a 5v5. And even though they had Baron, the gold was still actually very close during that last fight. So I think FlyQuest had their plan. CLG had their plan. No like big mind games ended up actually happening in the Champion Select, and FlyQuest just executed better.
They did.
Which a month ago, you would never have said about that because they finished as a 7th place team, but now they're up 1-0 on CLG.
Well, 2 more to go for FlyQuest until they get that final boss battle against Cloud9, if they can do it. Now for more on that Game 1 win from FlyQuest, send it down to Dash and the analysts.
Thank you, gentlemen. 1-0 lead for FlyQuest, 4-0 so far for them in the Gauntlet as a whole. So continued success for High and the rest of the crew. Let's dive right into Champion Fight because some pretty interesting stuff happened here, right? FlyQuest choosing to go for what's been working. CLG, it's very clearly a crafted response to what they expected out of FlyQuest, but to no avail.
I actually just kind of hate it, just straight up. Like I tweeted about it, I was like, I don't think this comp's good. And yes, it is. Like we give them the things that they succeeded with yesterday because we have this plan. But I don't like giving them their best stuff, which is clearly what they want to play. And then you don't even like counterpick it in this way where you end up with a great comp. This is like an all-in, win lane, win game, and then go split push your brains out against a team that is known for forcing objectives. So you're literally saying, if we don't smash you, your win condition beats ours.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's fair to say CLG maybe got too clever for their own good, right? They're trying to do so much stuff with flex picks. The Lucian flex to AD. You know, they're trying to show that they could flex the Fiora to mid. They're trying to show that they could flex that top. They're trying to show all these different options and kind of confuse FlyQuest. And I don't hate the draft as much as you do because I do actually think that Fiora should slam Galio, and I do think that Mundo actually should be winning that lane top lane quite heavily against an AP Kennen. I think that there were some mistakes in the actual play, so I don't think you can just say, okay, well, this draft lost them the game, because to me, like, even just looking at Mundo as a champion itself, all 3 of your basic abilities help you to last hit. You basically should have perfect CS on this champion, even in losing matchups, like, which I don't even think this necessarily is. With Cleaver, with your E for the auto attack reset, the bonus damage, your W preps range minions, like you have everything you need to never miss farm. And Darshan, wasn't playing it, I think, to the level that showed that he was super comfortable on it.
I think it's definitely like anytime in League, there's a little bit of both. And the fact that he was down that much CS after dying once, and then Huhi got that first kill in lane with some good like control of the minion wave, but then wasn't able to exploit that any further. I think you can point to all these things being an issue, but that just goes back to the point of like, well, just play your good stuff against after banning out the stuff they're good at.
Right. I mean, the majority of the game was very bad back and forth.
To be fair, they probably thought that was the good stuff, or they wouldn't have brought it out, right?
Who knows?
Yeah, one would hope. One would hope, right? But you know, the majority of the game very back and forth. Both teams having their opportunity to take advantages from the other. But that's where I think we kind of return to your point, and we'll see it. You know, come to fruition as we work through the replays, is the fact that for FlyQuest, if it ends up in a 5v5, that's where they're going to feel most comfortable. And when you get into those, you know, tit-for-tat kind of games, they ultimately end up in fights, not drawn-out, you know, split-push kind of situations. Let's take a look at some of that back and forth. 14 minutes in, CLG 2-0 in the bot lane, followed by FlyQuest taking a turn in the top.
And this is a huge play for them because FlyQuest already took the mid turret. It felt like they were starting to run away with this game. A great TP flank there by Darshan keeps that turret alive, leads to this long chase down sequence where they're eventually able to get onto Lemonnation, and then it's not going to end there. They're going to find a great play on the turtle.
This hook was actually so sick. So Aphromoo is saying, you will not flash in a line because that would be dumb, so you will flash to the side, so I will also hook to the side, and he still gets him, and then you know, FlyQuest able to go right back at them. CLG trying to make another play on the top side, but this is one without the CLG teleports available, so it's kind of a bridge too far. We do see the TPs come in, balls showing the power of that AP Kennen, pretty much getting 100-0 on Stixxay.
And it's really nice to see that comp kind of come together here because the Rumble was what they were using before with the Galio to supplement the AP damage. Here they're showing that they do have the Kennen to play as well, and with the Fiora taken early, it kind of leads to this perfect storm.
And I do think that FlyQuest actually deserves a lot of credit for how well they forced fights, for how they forced around Baron, for how they actually grouped for these 5v5s and really did utilize their comp well, because very clearly they had to 5v5 and very clearly CLG wanted to play a slow game and still push.
And the great thing is they have so many engaged tools to do it here. So this is after they already basically blew 3 ultimates on the Thresh, and they have almost no ultimates left available, but they still, after missing the EQ combo on Jarvan, get the Galio taunt into the Rakan W, and this forces CLG to kind of walk forward because now they lost their smite, and if they don't take this fight, they're going to lose the Baron. They try and take it, but they're playing basically no range. The only range is Lucian, who is still notoriously short. And so you're playing this into an AP Kennen, a Galio. There's so many things that are going to hit you with AoE and CC you up.
And although it is, you know, kind of one of those all about turtle type comps, this was not at 40, 50 minutes when a turtle is the only thing that matters and you can actually sustain through all these tanks damage. Like the base damage on champions like Galio, NJ4, you know, even at that stage in the game are still very relevant without building damage because you are going to have to respect that. And CLG never got a chance to actually really scale up and get going.
And it was the kind of thing, too, where Balls got a couple kills, which helped kind of make the fact that, like, kill Turtle is not the only way to win a team fight. You do have to deal with multiple threats.
Now, looking ahead to Game 2, here's the interesting thing. Just like yesterday, Dignitas opted to start on red side, therefore Fly started on blue. You get to Game 2, Fly has side selection. They chose blue for Game 2 yesterday. Same thing's going to happen here today. They've elected to stay on blue side. So CLG, with their red side plan having failed, are going to have to run it back on the red side and try and get a win here. What do you want to see CLG switch up in Champs like since this plan didn't work out for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact of the matter is, although this strategy could have worked, it didn't. It failed pretty spectacularly. I think we're going to see them play a much more standard game of League of Legends. I think they're going to draft standard. I think they're maybe going to change up some of their picks and bans. You could take away the Galio from high. I think that has been a very big strength for them, both today and yesterday. I don't think you have to worry that much about the Jarvan. Let them have that. Ban out the Galio, play standard League, and make FlyQuest prove that you can win a straight-up game.
Right, there's no reason here that you can't, like you said, ban that Galio out and then get Rakan Ori and just run your standard, we're going to engage on you and out-team fight you, something we've seen all season long out of CLG.
All right, well, there you have it. We're headed for a break, but there's more League of Legends coming right up. When we return, we'll see if FlyQuest can jump to a 2-game lead versus Kind of Logic Game.